Okay, so it's time to change out the water. See, everything's working fine, but we want to put in fresh water. So, just start out and closing her down. Before we do anything else, when we drain the hot tub or surface it, turn off the GFI. It's the only white breaker, and I'll probably have to mark that. The side panel lifts up, lifts straight out, nice and easy. Then you can remove that panel to have access to everything needed in here. And down in there, I don't know if you can see it, we don't have enough light. That's the drain valve right there. Right now it's in the closed position. So what we want to do is we want to get ready to drain the entire tub. This is the drain vent right off the end corner of it. And you can drain it right there, or you can use this pipe. It's got the fitted end, just rest it on so it has some angle, and then drains out a little further past this little low spot. So now I'm going to reach in and open this valve. It's the far one. It's a bit of a reach. Sorry about that. I should have really dug out this area a little better, but that's the way I found it, so I'm going to try to make it work as is. But we're going to do that right now. The power's been shut off. Always make sure that the power's off before you drain it, because otherwise that pump will start running and it'll just burn out the heating element, which is right in there. Now it's in the open position. We're draining away. And it's just a gushing. Okay, it's been all drained out, sponged out, and cleaned. The last little bit's the hardest, but use a big sponge and sop it into a bucket and you'll get her clean. One thing I should have mentioned is you should open up the bleeder valve so the water runs out of the pump, or I mean the filter I should say. And then you could spin this off, pop it, wash out the filter, throw it back in, put a little bit of that same silicone type stuff that we use on the water system, like non-silicone I guess it'd be called, on the O-ring that's on here, and pop it back into place, and then leave this open so the air can get out, so we don't get air in the lines when we go to refill. So at this point we will close that drain valve and start to fill her again. Okay, it's about an hour and a bit later. Hot tub is full with fresh, clean, treated water. That's why that's there. But I'm sure you figured it out. So, now before we turn on power to the pump again and the heater, what we have to do is bleed the line, because there's air that will be trapped in where the heater coil is. And the only way to flush that air out is to either, break that and then reattach it, but that's a giant mess and it'll be flooding like crazy, so that's nuts. So that's part of the reason why I put in the drain valve. So all we got to do is crack that for a few seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, until all the air and all the lines pass through. Then we close her up again. Then we're ready to turn on power and get this thing heated up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to crack that open for a bit and then close it up again. Alright, ready to turn on power. Doesn't flip back, so that means everything's okay. Let's go see. Okay, I forgot to close the bleeder valve, so now I gotta get a little wet, close that up. It's all good because there's no air in the filter, so that helps everything. Okay, close that. Now, It's freezing cold, so no matter what this is set at, it's going to run until it gets up to the minimal temperature. But I find that right around here is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty comfortable, not too hot. Don't want to go too much more than that. All the way up there, I don't know, that'd be unbearable. But somewhere in around there, right past the warm, seems to work the best. I think it was right there, but you'll find out. Okay, for servicing, you want to get in that panel, main panel where all the systems are located. So this comes up real easy. Just reach around, grab it by the corner. Works better with two hands, but you just lift her up, get a corner over, and then you could reach over, straddle it. Like I say, with two hands, way easier. Anyways. And then pull her right back to the doors. Okay, we're draining the system now. Pulled the filter out so the pump or the filter chamber can clear out. Breaker's turned off down below. Valves open. Another little idea, I've left a piece of PEX here because the bottom intake is a little off the very bottom. There's usually about 5-6 inches of water that stands there. So I set up the siphon hose to run at the same time to catch that little bit and make life easier. Then all you have to do is maybe, once it goes down enough, shove the water that's sitting in the seat wells to the bottom, and then that saves a lot of sopping time with the sponge and buckets.